Hey, what's up, guys? Currently in Lille, in Lille. We're in our flat at the minute. It's the day before the GP, so I guess I'll just show you guys what we're up to. We've got some playtesting of Scapeshift versus Scapeshift, and yeah, we just got like a tiny little flat. It's like literally tiny, but it's cheap as hell, so this is what we need. What is? Doesn't matter. But yeah, so finished our sideboards, like we're setting them all in and everything, so everything's cool. And just getting some last minute in, playtesting, and yeah. So I'll catch you tomorrow. Good morning, guys. It's Saturday, day one of the GP. It is currently like 20 to 10, so the tournament's already underway. We're just enjoying our two buys. So the deck I'm playing is Naya Burn, of course. 4 Swiftspears, 4 Goblin Guides, 4 Eidolon, 4 Lava Spike, Lightning Bolt, Rift Bolt, Searing Blaze, Atarka's Command, Boros Charm, and then I've got 2 Skullcrack, 1 Helix, 1 Shard Volley, and 1 Grim Lavamancer. I'll leave the a list in the description as well. And then for lands, got the 3 mountains, 10 fetches, 2 of each shock, and 2 Copperline Gorge. And then for sideboard, we've got 2 Path, 2 Searing Blood, 2 Skullcrack, 2 Stony Silence, 3 Deflecting Palm, and 4 Revelry. I'm not too sure on the Path to Exiles, but my friends seem to think that I should be playing them, so I am, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, I will catch you guys later. Hey, what is up, guys? It's Murphy here. I'm actually back in the UK right now. Unfortunately, I didn't get enough video footage as I'd liked in Lille, so I thought I would just record just a little bit more information about my GP. I've got my notes from every round just because I like to keep track of what happened, especially when you're playing like up to 9 rounds in a day. I tend to forget what happens, so a lot of the information that I've acquired just goes straight in and straight back out. So yeah, I've got my notes. I'll talk over each round I played, what matchups they were, things like that, and why I won or I lost them. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Okay, so I actually had 2 buys, as you may have seen in previous footage. So I'm going to say this is actually round 3, but I'm going to count it as round 1 because I can't really give feedback on buys. So yeah, we'll start with round 1. And that was against Ban Eldrazi. So if you haven't played against Ban Eldrazi playing Burn, it's pretty hard. They basically just go really big, really quickly, and especially with like Thornoxes, they can take your burn spells, and it just becomes very hard to race a deck that plays 4/4s for 2 mana, and things like that. Well, it's not actually 2 mana, but with Mana Dorks and the Eldrazi land, it becomes very difficult to keep up with a deck that plays such large creatures so quickly. So yeah, I guess the only thing to say is that the best way I was able to keep on track was just using Searing Bloods and Searing Blazes to kill their Noble Hierarchs and their Birds of Paradise and things like that. So I was able to slow them down so I could actually kill them before they started putting 5/5s into play. So yeah, that was great. I don't think the matchup is good. I also brought in Deflecting Palm, so if they like attack you with a Reality Smasher, you can just shoot it back at them. And also I found out from side events that people actually still bring in Worship. I thought that was more of just for the Eldrazi Mire during Eldrazi Winter, because I used to just play it and then the other Eldrazi deck has trouble removing it. But he just played it in the sideboard, so maybe I should have brought in Destructive Revelry. Luckily I did win that round, but that's something to consider. I don't think you can afford to bring in Destructive Revelry in a blind matchup where you don't know if your opponent's got it or not. I guess they might have Spell Scout or something else like that, but generally I don't like to bring in Destructive Revelry without knowing that they have something in their sideboard, so I didn't bring it in, but that's just something to consider. Round 2 was against Mardu Tokens. This was, I felt like, a very fortunate round. I beat him 2-0. Game 1 I just burnt him out quicker than he could do anything. He played like Lingering Souls and it just wasn't quick enough. But Game 2 he was able to, so first of all I believe I mulliganed, and he then had 2 Inquisition to Kozilek, which if you have mulligan to 5 and then had, to 6 and then had 2 Inquisitions, it's like a mulligan to 4 or 5. It's really difficult to actually kill your opponent when you've been stripped of so many burn spells so early. But luckily, once he stripped me of my burn spells in my hand, he just didn't really draw a clock very quick. So I was able to just basically just top deck every turn a burn spell, and eventually just got him. I don't think it's a bad matchup. It's just when your opponent draws that many Inquisitions, it's not great for us. But yeah, I did end up winning that one as well. So currently 2-0 or 4-0 if you count the buys. So next round I play against an opponent who's playing Esper Control. I didn't really consider this even playable, I guess, for the GP. I've never really seen anyone play it well. Sorry, I might just turn my fan off. Yeah, so I haven't really seen anyone play it well. I haven't seen a good list. I haven't seen anyone do well with the deck. But I actually got absolutely destroyed by this match. It wasn't even close, 2-0 to them, which I thought was really surprising. Like, they're basically just a blue-white deck splashing black for a couple of different things. Mainly, I think it was pretty much only Esper Charm. So yeah, they beat me 2-0. I then went and sat back with my friends. We were just chilling out, and they looked at my pairings, and it turns out I was actually against Wafo Tapper, who turns out to be a Hall of Fame pro. I didn't know. I felt really stupid not knowing who he was. But yeah, feel free to check him out if you've never heard of him. He was a nice guy to talk to. He was very quiet, but yeah, it made me losing to him feel a lot better just because, I mean, he's a Hall of Fame pro, so whatever. And I believe he did really well in the GP. He didn't top 8, but considering he was playing Esper Control, which I wouldn't consider like a top tier deck, he did really well with it. So I don't mind losing to him. Next, I was against Jund. Not really much to say here. I mulliganed every game, and he had Inquisition's Kodalek. Very similar to the Mardu tokens deck, except it's Jund, they have Goyfs. If you can't kill them quickly, they're going to kill you. So between mulligans and Inquisition and Kodalek, I just didn't really play any Magic, to be honest. I know a lot of game ones, like Infect and things, they can kill people very quickly, and the other person feels like it was just a really cheap game because there wasn't really much play to it. That's kind of how this round felt. It sounds like really sound like a sore loser, but that's just how it ended up. Like, I've played rounds where I've won and I felt like my opponent couldn't do anything. So if they're playing like a slower deck, sometimes you do just burn them out and there's nothing they can do. Unfortunately, that is just Magic sometimes. That is just the way the game goes. So yeah, that was just Jund. I lost to them, didn't really play around, to be honest, but you know, it happens. Next was against Tron. I consider Tron a good matchup. If you bring in Destructive Revelries and Path to Exiles or anything like that, you can pretty much just guarantee you kill them, because the best way they can kill you is by resolving a Worm Coil and hitting you with it. But if you bring a Destructive Revelry, you basically buy yourself a turn because they attack with it. Then you just blow it up and then they have to attack next turn. Or you can just path it and things like that. Or you can even Deflecting Palm it if you get lucky. I don't really know what happened here. This is where the day started to fall apart. So yeah, basically I lost game 1, which is very rare. I have a friend who plays Tron that we've tested quite a lot. I pretty much play him in every event I go to for some reason. And yeah, the games normally go where the burn deck wins game 1, and then game 2 and 3 it depends on sideboarding and things like that. But yeah, I considered Tron a very good matchup, but I did just lose. Yeah, I believe it was game 2. He actually mulliganed down to 5 and still got a turn 3 Worm Coil, which is fantastic on his part. You know, that's what Tron's supposed to do, play big creatures early, so I can't really complain. But yeah, nothing else to say about that. Next round was Infect. I won this against Infect 2-1. I consider Infect probably one of the best matchups just because they have to play a creature and then pump it up. And then all you have to do is just shoot the creature in response, and then they'll have to use another pump spell, and then you can just get it like that. And then what a lot of people don't think about is that you're supposed to do it, or you're not supposed to, but it's very good to do it at the end of combat. So they've dealt you one Infect or something, and then they pass, and then you just go end of turn bolt it, because now they have to use their pump spell to keep it alive, but they don't get the actual damage in with it. So I think that's one of the best ways to combat it. I brought in Searing Bloods, Searing Blazes, Path to Exile, and also bring Deflecting Palm. Deflecting Palm is what makes me think that this matchup is pretty much a guaranteed win, because no matter how big they make their creature, if you Deflecting Palm it back at them, it not only stops the Infect damage, but it redirects the damage back to them as normal damage. So if they attack you for, say, 7 Infect and you shoot it back at them, that's 7 normal damage back at them, which is normally more than enough to be able to just kill them before their next turn. So that was that round. And then for the last round, this was my winning into day 2, I believe. I was matched up against Affinity. I don't think Affinity is a bad matchup for Burn, but I pretty much always lose to it. There's always been something I've been doing wrong against this matchup. I don't know why. It was one of my first ever Modern events I went to. I played against Affinity, I think it was round 2 to round 5, and I lost every single one, and I've basically been overestimating the deck, and I think I'm playing incorrectly because of that. So yeah, I did actually lose to Affinity. The winning turn I actually lost to because I misunderstood Tezzeret. I know Tezzeret doesn't normally get played in Affinity, which is probably why I wasn't too familiar with him. I thought it was his ultimate was your opponent loses 1 life for each artifact you control. In fact, it's for twice as many as you control. So I worked out that I could survive that, do some use I think it was a Searing Blood on one of his creatures, and then I could untap and then kill him. But because it deals twice as many artifacts, he just killed me with it, and that was just my fault. Luckily I did lose this, and then after this I played in a side event, and I played against Affinity, and I basically changed my way of playing. So instead of playing like with Stony Silences and things like that, and tried to like slow them down as much as possible, instead I just chose to play as aggressively as possible, and if they play anything that I'm scared of, bolt that, but basically just go put them on a clock as quick as possible instead of trying to be reactive, because I tend to find that if I'm trying to be reactive to the Affinity deck, eventually they just draw something good, and then I just struggle to keep up. I don't know if that happens for everyone else. I haven't really seen anyone else have trouble with Affinity, but since playing in the side event, I feel a lot more confident doing it, and I think that I now can actually consistently beat it now that I know how to play differently. So if you have had problems with Affinity, try playing a lot more aggressively instead of being scared of how quickly they can kill you, and hopefully that will work out great for you as well. So it's definitely helped me. Those were my rounds. I feel really, I don't know what the correct word is, so I'm not particularly happy with my result, especially with the 2 buys, and I lost my winning in. I feel that the matchup against Jund, where I mulliganed a lot, and then he played Inquisition each game, I just felt that round was just almost like a loss, like version of a buy, where there was nothing I could have done. Maybe if I played a different deck, it wouldn't have been as bad, but that's just how Burn is. If you end up going down to that few cards, then there's not really much you can do. Those are my results, and thanks for watching. Peace.